Dear participants, welcome you all in this course Systematics of Angiosperm. And previously we have studied about the different families of polypetally. Now we will going to start the gamopetally, and in gamopetally we will going to study about the family Asteraceae, which is previously known as a compositae, and the earlier name is compositae. So just because of the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, now its name changes to the Asteraceae, because this, as you know, you have already studied the by the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature that the family name ends with the AC. So that's why the name of this particular family now changed to from composite to Asteraceae. So if you see the systematic position, earlier we have studied about the polypetally in which petals are free, and in gamopetally the petals are fused. So this gamopetally is divided into three group series: inferi, heteromeri and bicarpellate. Inferi, as the name indicates, are groups of plants that have inferior ovary. Then heteromeri, they have a group of plants that have a carpels between the 3 to 5. Here the carpels are 2, but they are inferior. In bicarpellate, the carpels are gynoecium is 2, monocarpellary but superior. So here the carpels are inferior, here the carpels are superior, and here the number of carpels vary in between the 3 to 5. So although we have to study the inferi, we don't have any representative family from the heteromeri, then we will study about the bicarpellate. So starting with the series inferi, now we will going to study about the order Asteraceae, as we are going to study about the family Asteraceae in the order Asteraceae. And if you see the systematic position, as I have told you, according to Benthamucker, this family is placed in dicotyledony. The subclass is gamopetally, that means the petals are fused, and the series is inferior, that means the ovary is inferior, the order is Asteraceae and the family is Asteraceae. So this is by the Bentham system of classification. And if we see the distribution of this particular family, the family Asteraceae includes around 950 genera and around 20,000 species. So this one is the, you can say, largest family of the dicots. You can see a number of plants that belong to this particular group. So this family comprises about 10% of the total number of the flowering plants, because we know the flowering plant has around 2 lakh species, and here you can see around 20,000 species are just reported in this particular family. So this is around comprises 10% of the total number of flowering plants that belong to this particular family. And in India, it's also represented by a good number of species, that is around 697 species, or you can say around 700 species is reported from the India. And they can live in all types of localities such as desert, they can live in all type of localities such as desert, Arctic region and aquatics. That's why you can say that due to their diverse habitats, they have a very good number of representation, because they can have adaptability to adapt in the different types of a habitat condition. So that making the plant, this group is very large in number because of their adaptability. So if we see the vegetative characters of the family Asteraceae, generally the plants are herbaceous and annual. Sometimes they may be shrubs. And the plant contain a milky or whitely resinous sap in their body. And the outer surface of these plants covered with the different types of hairs. So they have a trichome hair in the all over their body. And root are the generally they have a tapped root system because it is a dicotyledonous plant. And if you see the stem is herbaceous, woody if the plant is shrub, and erect it is tuberous in case of a Helianthus tuberosus, and maybe leaf-like in case of a Baccharis. So these plants generally have a herbaceous and woody stem. And if you see the leaves are usually alternate, simple and petiolate with exstipulate. And the some species, the leaves are also opposite, as in case of Helianthus, or whorl in case of a eupatorium. So generally they are alternate, but they may be opposite or whorl arrangement. They show, sorry, it is a whorl arrangement. Then sometimes the leaves may be pinnately or palmately lobed and the leaf surface is covered with the hair. Because all the plant bodies of this particular group is covered with the hairs and the leaf margin may be entire or sometimes may be serrate. And if you see the floral characters of this particular family, one of the most important thing that is the inflorescence. Inflorescence in this particular group is the either racemose or capitulum. Capitulum, which is also called as a head, it is a special type of inflorescence. It just consists of a disc floret in the center and surrounded by a number of ray floret and involucral bract. So these floret arranged in a centripetal manner. The extended base of the capitulum is called as the receptacle. As you can see, this is the receptacle and these are the, in the center you will see this is the disc floret and these are the ray floret, which is also called as the ligule or ray floret or ligulate flowers. So the most important thing of this particular family is the inflorescence that is called as the capitulum or head, and it is also have a bract. These are the phalanges, and they have a two types of the flower, disc floret at center and the ray floret at the generally at the outer side. But sometimes the flower may have only one type of flower, that is only ray flower, and sometimes they only have a disc type of a flower. So they maybe have a mixed type of both the flower. They may have sometimes only ray flower, or sometimes they may have only this type of a flower. So if you see the flower are generally bisexual or unisexual, polygamous, and rarely they are neuter. And usually pentamerous, that means they have all the plant part in the multiples of 5. They are bracteate, sessile, and epigynous. Because ovary is inferior, that's why there are two types of flower, namely disc or ray floret. So depending upon the different species of their groups, they may have a mixed, they both ray and disc floret, or they may have only disc floret, or they may have only ray floret. So if you see these two types of flower, the first one is the ray and the second is the disc floret. Ray floret generally present at the periphery and they have a corolla which is shape is ligule like. As you can see, this is the corolla which is shape is ligule. That's why this flower is also called as the ligulate flower. Here you can see this is the ovary, mature ovary, which is called as achene. This is the perigynous ovary, and sorry, this one is the epigynous ovary. That means that giving the inferior ovary. And you can see here these are the calyx. Calyx is modified into a hairy structure. That's why it is called as the pappus. And corolla, you can see this is a have a ligule shape. That what is called as the ligulate. And here you can see anthers are united and forming the syngenaceous condition. And the style you can see here is biped. So ray floret generally present at the periphery, and the disc floret they also have a same. They have an inferior ovary. They have a calyx that modify into the pappus. That hairy structure, the corolla. The next difference between the ray floret and disc floret is that here corolla is ligule shape, while here the corolla is tubular. So this is also called as the tubular flower. This is called as a ligulate and this is called as the tubular flower just due to the shape of the corolla. And here you can see the anthers and this is the style which is biped. These are the two types of a flower which present in the Asteraceae family. So you can see here this is the inferior ovary pappus. These are the two types of flower. So if you start with the disc flower, as I have told you, disc flower occupy the center of the capitulum in general, but sometimes the flower is only composed of the disc flower. So this type of flowers are bracteate, sessile, bisexual, regular, actinomorphic and epigynous. As you can see, the ovary is at inferior position. And if you see the calyx is usually represented by the pappus, that is the hairy structure that covering the like this type of a structure that is called as the pappus. and it is reduced and highly modified calyx. And in some cases, the calyx is represented by only a spiny structure. Then if you see the corolla in this case are tubular. You can see here this is the disc where the corolla become tubular. That's why these flowers are also called as the tubular flower, and it consists of a 5 united petals. That's why this family is placed Epinthomochore in the gamopetally, because all the corollas are united and the institution of this corolla is a valvate. And the corolla tube is swollen near the base, as you can see here in this picture. Then androecium. The androecium consists of 5 epipetalous stamens, and the stamens are alternate to petals. And one of the most important thing of this particular family is this called as the syngenaceous condition. What is the syngenaceous condition? When you can see the anthers, only anthers are fused with each other and the filaments are free, as you can see. So these anthers are fused together, and this condition is called as the syngenaceous condition. And generally, if you see, the anthers are diathecous in toes and raised by the longitudinal cyst. So one of the characteristics of this particular family is the presence of a capitulum. The next is the presence of a syngenaceous stamens. Then the gynoecium is bicarpellary, syncarpous, and inferior with unilocular. And there is a single anatropous ovule at the locule and have a basal presentation. And the style is slender, and the two stigma with the various form. You can see there is a biped stigma is present. So this is all about the disc floret, which have a tubular shape in structure, and you can easily identify. Generally, they have a occupy the central position in the flower. And the next one is the ray floret. Ray floret occupy the generally periphery of the capitulum, and they are also bracteate, sessile, irregular. While the disc floret have a actinomorphic symmetry, they have a irregular and have a zygomorphic symmetry. They are ligulated and also epigynous. So just because of their shape of the corolla, these ray floret become the zygomorphic. The calyx is also same like pappus-like, or sometimes maybe upside in case of a ray floret. Corolla is here. You can see corolla is ligulate. That's why this flower is also called as the ligulate flower, or they may be bilabiate, that is made up of the 3 upper lobe and 2 lower lobe, and it may be consist of 5 fused petals, and the institution is valvate. So you can see this is the bilabiate corolla. Then androecium is homogeneous. It is homogeneous head. The ray flower are bisexual, so they have a 5. They also have a syngenaceous stamens. And heterogamous head, the ray flower are usually pistillate or neutral. So as I have told you, the head may have a homogeneous head. The ray flower are in this homogeneous, in which only they have only single type of flower. So in which the ray floret is uh, bisexual. While in the case of a heterogamous head, the ray floret usually pistillate. They don't have a stamens altogether absent in this particular group. Like in case of a sunflower, they don't have a androecium. They only have a either neutral flower, or they have only pistillate flowers. And if you see the gynoecium is made up of all of bicarpellary, syncarpous, and inferior ovary with single ovules, and the style become bilobed and stigma is variable. And the fruit of this group is called as the cypsela, and the seeds are dicotyledonate X-albuminous seeds, and the fruit is also maybe called as achene. If you see the common plants of this particular family, the most common one you have seen, that is the Helianthus, which is Suryakanthi or Surajmukhi plant, as you can see in this particular image. Then the next one is the Eclipta prostrata, that is one of the major common plants. Then is Tradix procumbens, that is, you can see this is the wild plant that is growing in the regions in most of the part of the country. Then Tigus erecta, that is also called as a Genda or Seventy. Then Calendula officinalis. Yes, you can see these are some common plants of the family Asteraceae. And one of the most common one is the Tridus procumbens, which is growing in a wild condition. And if you see the systematic position of Triadex, it is belong to the dicotyledony gam. Subclass Gamopetali. The series is inferi. The order is Asteraceae and the family is Asteraceae and the genus is Triadex and the species is Procumbens. This was the most common wild plant of the Asteraceae family and just showing the all the characteristics of the family. Asteraceae, like you can see, it has a inflorescence that is head or capitulum. You can see the leaves are simple ovate with serrate margins. They have a generally alternate arrangement. Then flowers are two type refloret and disfloret. Refloret is bracteate, zygomorphic, unisexual, and calyx is purpose-like. Corolla is 3 to 4 and estivation is gamopetalous. Then disflorate, which is bracteate, actinomorphic, and bisexual with inferior ovary. Calyx is purpose-like. Corolla is made up of 5 gamopetalous with valvous estivation. And endoecium showing the syngenous stamens. As you can see, the anthers are fused. Then ganoecium is bicarpellary, syncarpus, unilocular with breast presentation is stylus, cylinder and branch and with inferior ovary and the fruit is sepsella. So you can easily identify this group of plant by the presence of head inflorescence and the presence of this syngenous type of stamens. So this is the a twig of Tridex. This is the LS of the head. You can see these are the ligulate flower and the center you will find the disc fruit. This one is the single disc fruit. You can see there is a stamen that is showing the syngenesis condition. Here you can see the calyx that modify into the pappus. This one is the ray floret. You can see it is either made up of 3 or 4 corolla. Then you can see here the ovary is inferior in position. Here you can see syngenesis condition. And if you see the tears of this pen showing the vessel presentation and this is made up of a bicarpellary syncarpus with inferior ovary. So you can see here the calyx which is modified into the hair that is pappus and here you can see this is the ligulate flower which is made up of either 3 to 5 corolla which are have an unequal shape. Then you can see this one is the dischlorate which have a calyx modified into the pappus which has the bisexual flower. This one is the corolla which is tubular that is showing the zygomorphic symmetry. Then 5 androecium which are anthers are united and the center this is the tears of ovary that are showing the basal presentation. So if you see the floral formula of this particular plant that is the bracteate, ebracteate which is showing the zygomorphic symmetry in case of a ray floret. They are having only female flower. Calyx is infinite because they modify into the pappus. Corolla is 5 in number and lucium is 0 and ganoecium is made up of bicarpellary syncarpus with inferior ovary. While disc floret also bracteate, ebracteate, they are actinomorphic, bisexual. Calyx is also infinite modified into the pappus. Corolla is 5 in number and lucium is 5 and the ganoecium is also bicarpellary syncarpus with inferior ovary. So if you see the economic importance of this particular family, Asteraceae, most of the the major economic importance plant of this particular family that is the oil yielding plant. Many plants give the oil seed streaks, right? And the oil is used for cooking, burning, and soap making, varnish preparation, and as a lubricant. And the most common one is the example like Helianthus annuus. Have all may have eaten the sunflower oil. So the most common one is the Helianthus annuus. Then Carthamus tinctorius, which is flower yields the oil. Then Gizotia vescana, which seeds also yield the oil. Then many plants of this family also yield a dye. Like Catharanthus tinctorius give a red dye color that is the safflower. Then Tigritus give the yellow dye for the coloring cotton. Then some group of the plant are also used as a food like leaves of circorium which is used in the salads. Then root powder of those plants is substitute for the coffee or often mixed with the coffee. Then leaves of the lactuca sativa that is the lettuce or salad patta which is used in the salad. Then some plant is also used as a medicine like whole plant extract of Artemisia herbaceum is given for the fever and inflammation of the liver. Then Artemisia vulgaris is used for the roundworm fever, asthma, and nervous disorder. There are some importance of the family Asteraceae, and beside this particular family yield a number of ornamental plants. Like this one is the Tigritis erecta, that is Genda, that is Helianthus, and that is the sunflower, then Calendula, then Parthenium, Hysteroporus. So this particular family produces a number of ornamental plants that is growing especially in the winter. So that they give a beautiful flowers during the this period. So this is all about the Asteraceae family, and you can easily identify this family just because of the presence of the head or capitulum inflorescence. This one is the one of the major characteristic of this particular family, that is the head or capitulum inflorescence, and the second is the syngenesis condition of the anther. So hopefully you can identify this particular group of plant easily by just seeing the its inflorescence, and if you have a doubt you can just check it, cross check it by the presence of a syngenesis condition in the anther. So that's all for today's session. Thank you all of you for joining me.